pronto.
Hey, Spooky.
Hey.
What are you doing for Giallo January?
I don't know, Cornelius. Is it even January yet?
Yeah, it's been January for like a week already, man.
Oh. I must have blacked out or something.
Yeah. So do you have video plans or?
Yeah, I have this really fun Giallo January watchlist challenge planned. Let's get into the video. Okay, so did you really think that I would not provide you with quality Giallo content this January? After all, it is Giallo January, baddies, and we are here to celebrate. Today, I have a really fun list that is mixed with films that I have seen, and there are a few that I have not seen, so I can join you all on this watch list challenge. This is gonna be super fun. I've never done a video like this before, but I figured if we're doing Giallo January, we need to go all the way in and watch a Giallo every day. Now, I was slacking a little bit because I had a massive video, an hour-long video on my best and not so best of 2023, and that took me days to edit. So I could not get this video done in time for January 1st, but it's okay. So even though we don't have 30 films or 31, I don't even know how many days there are this month, okay? It's a bimbo's world, you know? But today we have 20, and I think 20 will definitely get you through the month. So let's kick it off with our number one. At number one, we have a black and white Giallo. For me personally, I am going to pick and recommend to you guys The Girl Who Knew Too Much, directed by Mario Bava. I love this movie. I think it's stunning. I mean, obviously it's Bava, and we all know he is a king. It also stars a king himself, John Saxon, RIP to an icon. This film is quintessential Giallo goodness, and it's one of the older ones. It's a 60s Giallo, so gotta give you some 60s love in there, you know what I mean? And now at number two, we have a Giallo featuring models and gorgeous set design. So you know I had to pick a fave. It's not perfect story-wise, but I will tell you that set design-wise, it is absolutely perfect. Lighting, everything, chef's kiss. That is going to be Blood and Black Lace. This is also directed by the icon himself, Mario Bava. So back to back, you have some Bava goodness. And now at number three, a Giallo with an animal in the title. Now we all know that there are many Gialli with an animal name in the title. However, I am choosing probably my favorite one. It stars one of my favorite actors, and he slays, especially in the last act. This is The Case of the Scorpion's Tail, and this is directed by Sergio Martino. I love this movie. I think it's iconic. The performances are so much fun. There is, of course, that very ridiculous Giallo aspect to it. Like, there's a lot of plot holes, a lot of things that don't make sense and are just kind of cheesy, but ultimately it works all together, and I just feel like it's a great time. It also has a ton of rewatchability, and for that, we love it. If you've seen this one, I guess I'd also recommend The Black Belly of the Tarantula. And now at number four, we are at one of my favorites. This is one of my favorites. A Giallo that has witchcraft and cult themes. And my choice is going to be All the Colors of the Dark. I think everyone has to watch this movie. You need to watch this movie, and I need to rewatch this movie. I own it. I've seen it a bunch of times. It stars the lovely Edwidge Fenech, and this is also directed by Sergio Martino. He is, of course, my favorite Giallo director, so there's gonna be a lot of him on this list. But this is one that I think is very different compared to other Gialli, just because it does have that witchcraft, very like brujeria aspect to it, and I think that that's really fun. And like the cult vibes are insane. Everything is just very dark in this movie, and for that, I love it. Now, at number 5, this is very, very important. This is a very important number, and I'm gonna need you to really listen, because number 5, you have to watch. You have to see it, okay? Are you seeing me? You have to see it. At number 5, we have a forgotten Giallo, and that is My Dear Killer. This one stars George Hilton, and it's George Hilton in a very different role than he usually plays. He plays this detective, and he has this very very, very crazy mustache. It's almost giving like porn stash, you know? And he makes it work. He makes it work. This one also has some insane kills. I cannot deny insane kills. And to be honest, I feel like it's a very engaging one. For me, it was one of the more interesting Gialli I've seen, and the story itself was a bit gruesome, so I really did enjoy this one. Not enough people talk about this film, so I really do hope that you watch this one at number 5, The Forgotten Giallo, My Dear Killer. And now at number 6, we have a surreal, dreamy Giallo. I know, it's not a sweet and spooky list if it doesn't have a surreal, dreamy Giallo. And of course, my pick for you is The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. This film is also directed by my fave, Sergio Martino, and it stars my faves, Edwidge Fenech and George Hilton. This is one I have spoken about so much here on the channel. It is in my top 5 favorite Gialli of all time. The score is phenomenal. It is one of my favorite scores. The acting from everybody, so good. Everyone has great chemistry and everyone's beautiful and all the shots are gorgeous and we just have quintessential everything and just, I love it. I love it. It's a quintessential Giallo. It's insane. It has every single type of subplot. It goes all over the place and it's just amazing. I've seen it at this point probably 7 times, and you know what? It gets better and better. I'm never tired of it. So if you haven't seen it, you definitely want to watch it this month. And now at number 7, we have a Giallo with a few lesbian queens. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm gonna put some basic ones on here that you've already heard about. But guess what, baddies? I'm not doing that. I'm putting one that not enough people talk about, and I don't think a lot of you have seen, and that is Amok. It is starring Barbara Boucher, and the cover of this one is absolutely stunning because it looks exactly like Il Giallo Mondadori, and I love it. Not to mention, this movie is like visually stunning. I actually was just gifted this gorgeous Amok poster from my lovely friend, a fellow Giallo queen, Katie from Katie of the Night. She sent me this beautiful Amok poster and oh my god, it's hanging up in my dining room. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it. So I don't know what you're doing. You should follow me on Instagram. But this is one that just seems to fall off people's radar. I have no idea why, but you have to watch it. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube to watch. It's a bit slow, but I'm telling you that it is worth it. It's a very interesting one. It's a really fun little murder mystery, and Barbara Boucher truly carries. And I was not expecting this movie to be super gay, and it was, and I was living. Barbara Boucher is beautiful, and now she's hanging in my dining room, and I get to see her beautiful face every day, and I'm just like, wow, I don't know if I want to be you or be with you, girl. Now we can move on to number 8, and that is a Giallo directed by the maestro Dario Argento. And I am putting this here because I really want all of you to try to watch more Giallo from more obscure directors. I didn't want to put too many of Dario Argento's works on here because I do know that they are probably the most popular. So I tried to put some that, not a lot of people talk about. So for this month, we're going with just one Dario Argento. And for me, that choice is going to be Tenebrae. For those of you who haven't started your Giallo journey, I think Tenebrae is a great place to start. And if you've seen Tenebrae already and you've been putting off Deep Red, I would say you could also watch Deep Red if you've already seen Tenebrae. But my choice is Tenebrae simply because the vibes. And I love the score for this movie. It is one of my favorites. It's really hard to choose a favorite score from Argento's films because they're all so iconic, but there is something very special about Tenebrae, and I have gotten a lot of inspiration from Tenebrae while doing my Giallo videos and my Giallo intros. A lot of it is inspired by that film because that film to me is a masterpiece. So I hope you check out Tenebrae. And now at number 9, we have one that I have not seen, so I will be joining you all in this watch. It is an 80s Giallo. So my pick for the 80s Giallo is going to be A Blade in the Dark, simply because I've been recommended A Blade in the Dark so much and I've constantly put it off. It looks like a great time. The poster is gorgeous and I've heard nothing but great things, specifically from Katie. She loves this film and I know a lot of people are big fans of this film and this director. So I guess we will all have to watch this one this month. And now at number 10, the category is A Gals Being Pals Giallo. And the one I'm going to recommend to all of you is going to be Torso, directed by Sergio Martino. I know, everyone, I can't not put this much Sergio Martino on here, okay? He just makes some of the best films I've ever seen. I promise we have ones that are not by him. I'm so sorry, but I'm a Martino stan. Torso is really fun. I love the killer's look in this film. It's a bit weird, but most Jolly is weird. This one is a little bit more perverted, but the film overall is very good, very interesting, and I love all of the actresses. The actresses are all really killing it, and the setting of this film is really nice. I wasn't sure what category to put this in because they are in university, but they're not in a sorority, but they all live in this house together. So I was like, can't really be called a sorority Giallo, you know what I mean? But I feel like it's definitely just gals being pals, So check that one out. And at number 11, we are getting into something a little bit darker, and that is going to be a gothic castle-themed Giallo. And my choice for you is going to be The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. Are you surprised? I have rewatched this one so many times, never get tired of it, so I will be joining because it's one of my favorites. It has an amazing score. Barbara Boucher, again, absolute queen icon. And this one to me is a lot more unique than other Jolly. I think it's mostly the setting and the character design of the Red Queen. There's just something about it that feels a little bit more different, a little darker. I love the gothic vibes that this film has, and it's absolutely stunning. Stunning. You need to watch this immediately. And have you seen that poster? Now at number 12, we're coming for me when we say this, and that is a theater kid Giallo. My choice for you all is going to be Stage Fright. This is directed by Michel Sauvé, and it's so fun. It's so fun. I know there's this argument that people say that it's not a Giallo and more of a slasher because you know who the killer is. Listen, Michel Sauvé has been working with Argento and was inspired by Argento when making this movie. And this film is also on so many Jolly lists, and I count it as a Giallo. If you don't count it as a Giallo, then another option for you could be Opera, but that is directed by Dario Argento, and I still want to keep this fun little list with just one Argento so you can see more from different directors. And now at number 13, we have a Giallo where blood-stained flowers are in the title. Yes, you would not believe that there are many Giallo with blood-stained flowers in the title. My choice for you is going to be The Case of the Bloody Iris. Yeah, I know. It stars Edwidge Fenwick, but I promise you, you are not going to hate watching Edwidge Fenwick all month long. And this one is one of her best. It really is. She's serving. She's always serving, but she's really serving in this one. And while this one, the twist and when you find out who the killer is, yes, it is a little bit ridiculous and you're like, oh my god, T. Like, T, oh my god, this is like kind of weird. You end up loving it because it's just so crazy that you're like, yeah, that's a Giallo. And now at number 14, we have one for those of you who would like to watch something a little bit more modern, and that is a modern Giallo. My choice for you is going to be Knife Plus Heart. There are a few modern Jolly, but I do feel like Knife Plus Heart really takes the cake in really bringing us back to what Giallo is. The lighting, the performances, the way shots are framed are just so Giallo. They are so of the time that you almost forget that this is a modern film. And I just have to send so much praise because not only is it a modern Giallo, but it is super queer. And for that, we absolutely love it. So not only is it a modern Giallo, but it's also a queer Giallo. So you're welcome. And now at 15, I know we do have to get into this because there are a lot of them. At 15, the category is a sleazy Giallo. My choice for you all is going to be a film that I don't really like. I've only seen it once and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, this is kind of weird, it's kind of boring. But I do want to rewatch it myself, so I will be joining you all, and hopefully for those who are into the more sleazy stuff, if you haven't seen it, you'll watch this one too, or maybe you'll rewatch it as well and see your thoughts. I have The New York Ripper. This is directed by Lucio Fulci, and during my Giallo journey, I have not yet found a Lucio Fulci Giallo that speaks to me or that I love. So I'm going to be rewatching this one on my projector and see what the vibes are. The killer is insane, by the way. He's like Daffy Duck or something. It's crazy. He like quacks and shit. It's kind of iconic. And now to spice things up a little bit, at 16, the category is a Giallo that an American slasher stole a kill from. Probably many kills, actually. But this film that I'm recommending to you is A Bay of Blood. This film is absolutely iconic, and this is one that the kills are off the wall. They are so creative and somehow beautiful. They're beautiful. They're brutal, but they're so artsy. Like, some of them you're just like, oh my god, how did you think of that? It's directed by Mario Bava, of course. And yes, the American slasher that stole from this film is famously a slasher that I absolutely hate and don't care for the franchise. It's Friday the 13th. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm really not a fan of Friday the 13th, but you should watch A Bay of Blood this month. And now, moving on from talking about Friday the 13th, let's go to number 17. And the category is a Giallo with a crazy affair subplot. I know, there's lots of Jolly with this specific subplot. And I wanted to give one that's lesser known, that it seems like, a lot of people haven't been speaking too much about. This is one I actually did a watch along for over on the channel. So you should check that out if you want to watch along with me. This film is The Sweet Body of Deborah. This film is insane. It also has George Hilton in it, by the way. And even though George Hilton doesn't come in until a lot later on in the film, everybody else is great. Carol Baker and Jean Sorrell are all great. And this is a movie that is full of tea. It is slow. It's very slow to get there. But once it gets there, you just can't stop. You're just like, what? And then he did what? And what do you mean? And then by the end, you're kind of like, slay, girl, slay. So I recommend The Sweet Body of Deborah for you. And now at number 18, the category is a Giallo with the word I in it. And no, I don't mean like the letter I mean I. And that film for you is going to be Eyeball. This is also for me this month because I have not seen Eyeball, but this is one that has been spoken up pretty highly to me. And it's been also one of those movies that I've just been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing for some reason. But this month, I will be getting to it. The cover is stunning and it really just sounds intriguing. It's just called Eyeball. Like, what's gonna happen to the eyeball? I wonder. Is the killer a giant eyeball? Is it a B movie? I don't know, but we're gonna find out together, baddies. And now at number 19, the category is a Giallo about 5 women. Yes, 5 women. Let me tell you, there are so many jolly that the title is like 5 women. Or 5 dolls, right? 5 dolls for an August moon, which is about 5 women as well. This one is directed by Mario Bava. But that is not the film that I am saying to watch this month because I am adding one that I also haven't seen so I can join you guys. That film is going to be 5 Women for the Killer. I am very intrigued with the synopsis of this movie and I do love the poster as well. And it's from a director that I'm unfamiliar with, so I want to give it a fair shot and check it out. And I hope you all check it out with me. And now we finally made it to number 20. The category is a Giallo you've been putting off for a really long time. This one that I'm going to recommend for you and for me is going to be The House with Laughing Windows. I have heard nothing but good things about this movie. There's something about it that scares me a little bit. And I think that's why I've been putting it off. Just the title, I don't like that. Like thinking of the windows laughing at me is truly a terrifying experience that I never want to happen. And I don't really know what this Giallo is going to be about. I do love the poster though because the poster looks absolutely eerie. So I'm really hoping it's a bit more dreadful. I hope it's a little bit on the darker side, you know, and not as goofy. So we'll find out together. Oh my God. So I'm so glad to be back in Giallo era. I know we had a little bit of a bump there. It was rough. 2023 was a very busy and crazy year for me. But now we're back. The Giallo Queen is back and we are delving into lots of jolly. And I hope that you participate in this Giallo January Watchlist challenge with me. It's going to be so much fun. If you do end up joining the challenge, please be sure to tag me on any of my socials, Twitter, Instagram, letting me know your thoughts. And I would just love to see you guys join in on all the Giallo fun this month. It's going to be so great. Make sure you have, you know, your JMB with you because it's going to be a ride. And also you can't watch Jolly without a good little JMB drink, you know? All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments if you plan on joining the Watchlist challenge. Let me know also if any of these films you haven't seen. I'd love to talk about it. Thanks so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.